The aim of this short video is to provide a quick introduction to our new cloud-based Key Performance Indicators or KPI dashboard system. This product works in conjunction with our existing Easy Service software and app, where the data is filled in automatically when using your software or your Easy Service apps. Really, what we have here is a big data system for service companies and will help manage your business more effectively. The KPI dashboard is accessed through a private encrypted Easy Admin portal. This really powerful tool collates all your data and produces graphs based on live data, which means all this information is coming to you in real time as it happens in your business. So let's get started. On the Easy Admin portal, press Dashboard and 3 categories of data will appear on the drop-down menu: sales-based data, service call data, and other. And that's where we are now. And there are 3 graphs in this section, and they relate mainly to your job costs and your margins. The monthly job costs and margins graph provides an overview of your job costs and margins, or loss, as you can see by the red on the September graph. This data is generated from jobs invoiced, so any jobs that haven't been invoiced yet won't appear. We can see the number of jobs invoiced each month on the line graph, the orange line graph that's here. So let's focus on October. The legend at the bottom of the graph will show you what each of the colors in the graph refer to. For all of these graphs that you see here, we're using dummy data from our demo software. So in this scenario for October, you can see that a total of 31 jobs had been invoiced, and this has produced a margin of a little over 8,000. Now in terms of currency, that can be set in euro, sterling, or dollar. The yellow are the overhead costs, the pink is the engineer's travel time, the dark blue is the parts used, and finally your labor costs, which are a little over almost 12,500. This data is collated by our office software, where job costs are based on the hourly cost of the engineer, the cost of the parts used, and the cost of the time spent traveling, so it's a very accurate measure. The graph below this shows the same information as the one above, but it breaks it down for a closer analysis into a weekly view of the job's costs and margins. So when I recorded this video, for example, we were in week 50. Moving on to the final graph, which shows you the costs and margins for the last 12 customers invoiced for a specific time period. We can see here, for example, that the Big Apple Hotel was a good earner in the last 12 jobs invoiced. Now, to the right of all of the graphs, I'm just going to move this slightly over here. To the right of all of the graphs are filters, and these will help you dig deeper down into the data. And I'll show you how to operate the advanced filter and export to Excel filter as I go through some of the other KPIs. But for example here, we could adjust the date filter for this particular graph. So let's just do that now. Let's look at the last 12 jobs invoiced, say from just roughly here from April through to June of 2015. Just press refresh, and that should instantly refresh the data to that particular time period. So you can see here now that the title of the graph has changed, and it shows you from April, as we did on our timeline or time filter, to June 2015. And in this scenario, you can see that the green apple again is obviously one of our best customers from our demo data. But what I'm trying to show you here is how quickly we did this here and how amazingly quick it was to generate this type of information. And if you were using this in your own company, just think of the amount of man hours this would save in trying to access this type of data. So let's move on now to our service job metrics. All we need to access these graphs is to click on service on our dashboard. So quickly doing that, let me refresh it. There will always be a slight time lag for fetching all of your data because there's a lot of data here to crunch, and besides all of that, it's live as well. This first graph looks at your monthly calls in and calls out, and it breaks it down per month into the number of jobs created in a particular month and how many jobs were completed by your engineers, which is in the amber, and by your admin in the light blue per month. This KPI identifies staff efficiencies, and also productivity levels. And the information can be further broken down into contract and non-contract type jobs. But I'm going to scroll down now to the monthly average hours taken to respond to emergency calls. And that's this one here. This is a really useful KPI which you can use to inform your customers of how fast your company responds on average to emergency calls, for example. If you look at June here, you can see that there was 195 emergency calls in June, and it took an average of 6 hours to respond to each of these calls. Now, this is not a very good service level for emergency calls, and we hope this figure will look a lot better on your graphs. Let's move back up to our work in progress pie chart. This shows the current work in progress cost estimates and shows the cost of time already spent by your field staff on your work in progress. As you can see from this demo data scenario, a lot of money is being tied up here in the labor time, and these costs have not been billed yet. So from a chart like this, you'll be able to see instantly the amount of capital tied up in your business that won't be received in until the jobs have been invoiced. So it's very important to finish the jobs and get the cash in so you can get a return on your capital employed. Below this graph is your monthly average days from job finished to invoice. Now, this is a really important metric and it's key to your cash flow. It's about getting jobs invoiced quickly so that you can constantly improve on this number. And it's a great chart to motivate admin staff and to encourage them to speed up the invoicing process. Finally, let's have a look at our sales KPIs. Just go up to dashboard, refresh. These KPIs provide an instant view of your business in commercial terms, and there are 7 graphs in total of these. The first graph shows your annual sales and can be tracked for up to 5 years depending on how long you've been using our software. We can also automatically insert your financial year so that the annual sales performance can be tracked to that date instead of a calendar year if it's not the same. This information can be further subdivided into a monthly view. So this is the monthly view from January to December 2015. Or indeed, you can have a monthly view over a 3-year period. So let's scroll down now to this graph, which shows you the sales analysis from January 2015 to December 2015. And it shows, this graph here shows your key performing products and services. So these are your list here. Your legend shows all of your different types of products. In fact, I'm just going to go here and zoom this down so you have we can have a better look at or a better view of this. Okay, we can see here that this brown here, this is the intercom repairs, and this amber, the gate system installation, are producing the greatest sales for us. And it's really helpful to have a graph like this to show you what's working in terms of your products and services, and indeed what needs more work. Let's now have a look at the advanced filter to the right of this graph. As I explained, this will sort your data even more. So if I click advanced filter, it's going to show me this chart here. And what this does, depending on the graph, it will sort your data by system type, by customer, site, engineer, etc., depending on the variable above here. So for example, in this scenario here, I'm just going to go over to the system type, and I'm going to sort this by using this little funnel in the upper right hand corner. Click that. I want to, for example, just for convenience, look at the access control installation sales and the access control repair sales. So in order to look at those or just zoom in on those, I'm going to deselect all and then select very simply this little tick, press OK, and that has just showed me all those sales in that period for those particular products. All I need to do is to apply my filter, and here we have our graph for the access control installation sales and the access control repairs. Now, this level of deep dive analysis into your business is invaluable, and it will identify the key strengths and weaknesses in your organization. This really is big data for a very small price. Now, before I zoom back out again, I just want to show you this little text area here. This will show what you've actually filtered to remind you what you've filtered at any particular point in time. As I said, I'm just going to get myself zoomed out again to 100% because our graphs will look a lot better. Okay, the graph below this is sorting the data or presenting the data again in another way. And on this one here, I'm going to show you how to export to Excel. So all you've got to do is simply click the export to Excel. And you can see here it has done that. If I click on that, it'll take me to my Excel spreadsheet. This is the data with the corresponding graph, which you can print out or you can modify in any way you want. But the really important one here is this base data, which, like the filter, advanced filter I just showed you, there's an incredible amount of data here that can be used to analyze. I'm just going to pull this out for you so you can see that that was the transaction date. But there's an incredible amount of data here that can be used to analyze almost any aspect of your business. I'm just going to close out on that and back into our graphs. Okay, the next graph shows the top 10 customers by sales. And again, you can sort this by time period. You can go to your advanced filter or you can export to Excel to get a deeper dive into the analysis. And finally, the source of sales. This funnel type diagram provides a return on investment measurement for all your sales and marketing efforts and helps you keep tabs on your marketing expenditure and how effective it is. This short video just gives you a flavor of our new cloud-based KPI dashboard, but hopefully it has demonstrated that you can have big data for small companies at a fraction of the price of larger enterprise legacy systems. You can dive down deeper at your leisure into every chart to examine your costs, look in detail at the productivity of your key resources, your jobs, customers, etc. It really is a powerful management tool. It's simple to use and it will give you an in-depth, data-driven view of your company performance. To find out how you can purchase this very cost-effective management tool today and to see how your company is performing right now, please contact us on the details provided at the end of this video.